This is 6.2, measures of central tendency. And measures of central tendency is a fancy way of saying averages, different types of averages. Okay, and central tendency means to be toward or have a tendency to go toward the center, which is another way of thinking of an average. Okay, so we're going to do a few different things here. We're going to make a line plot. Okay, after we get done with that, we're going to find the median, the mean, the mode, the median, and the range. Okay, and once you make a line plot, it makes the rest of this stuff much easier to find. Okay, so a line plot is a way to organize the data, basically. So when I do my line plot, I only need to represent pieces of data that show up. So like there's a 14, there's a 15, and there's a 16. So I only need to represent those numbers. So I'm going to say 14, 15, and 16. Right? So every time I see one of those, I'm going to make a dot or an X. So I see a 14. I like to cross it off to know that I used it. And then there's another 14. There's a 15. And then another 15. A 16. Another 15. Another 15. And then there's a 16. So just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So there's my line plot. Just a way to kind of represent my data, put it in order, see how much I have of each thing. Okay. So now let's go ahead and start doing our measure of central tendency. Okay. So let's start with, I think the good one to start with is the range. Okay. Dispersion is another word that you hear for range, but that's just basically, okay, how far apart is the smallest piece of data from the biggest piece of data? So our range, okay, the biggest piece of data is 16, the smallest is 14, so the range is equal to 2. The range is equal to 2. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and find the mode next. Okay. Now this is a type of average, and the mode is defined as which piece of data occurs the most often, which one shows up the most. And if you look at it, it's 15 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 15s. There's more 15s than anything else. So the mode is 15. Okay. The median, okay, now this type of average is defined as if I put them all in order, which I did here, okay, 14, 15, 16. If I put them all in order, which one is actually in the middle? Okay, so I'm going to kind of check it off. So I got this, this, and then we're coming here, and then we're here. So basically the piece of data that's in the middle is right there. It's going to be a 15. Okay, it's going to be a 15. That's the one that's actually in the middle. Okay. The last one I want to do, which is most commonly used for an average, and that's a mean. Okay, and when people say average, they're usually talking about the mean. It's the most commonly one used. This is where you add up all the data and divide by how many pieces of data there is. Okay, so I'd have to add up all these numbers and divide by 8 because there was 8 total pieces of data. So to do this, I'm going to say, okay, 14 plus 14 plus 15 plus 15 plus 16 plus 15 plus 15. Right, all divided by 8. Okay, so I'm going to go and do this on my calculator real fast here. So I got 14 plus 14 plus 15 plus 15 plus 16 plus 15 plus 15 plus 16 again. And that comes out to 120 divided by 8. Okay, and if I get a decimal on that, it comes out exactly to 15. So in this case, the mean, median, and mode all came out as 15. Okay, the range came out as 2. That's the smallest piece of data from the largest piece of data, how far apart they are. And if you remember, you may also see this word associated with range, dispersion. Okay, like how dispersed is it? How spread out is it? Okay, so just kind of if you see that word, it means the same thing. All right. So kind of recap, you draw your line plot. Every time I see a 14, I make a little mark. Range, I subtract the biggest one from the smallest one. Mode, I just look and see on my line plot which one has the most checked off. For the median, I find the one piece in the middle. And for the the mean, I add them all up and divide by how many there are.